Welcome back to our John 14 look back segment. We're going to look back at John 14 to better understand and appreciate the context and the wisdom in John 15. Jesus uses a lot of repetition in both messages, and they really tie into one another, and we can learn from that repetition and gain better understanding when we look at John 15 in the context of John 14. So for today's segment, we have been talking about God being a good gardener and knowing Him. And so our John 14 verse for this section is John 14:10, and it says, "Don't you believe that I am in the Father, and that the Father is in me? The words I say to you, I do not speak on my own authority. Rather, it is the Father living in me who is doing His work." And this concept of Jesus, being in the Father and the Father's in Him, it is very similar to Jesus asking us to remain in Him while He is in us. And it is a very good reminder of just the authority of God and the role of Jesus as that mediator between us and God, and that bridge, the way that we can access God. And so this verse, Jesus is saying that ultimately he is growing from God, and the things that He say are because He is growing from God, and the things that He does are a result of the connection to God, and it's God working through Him. And so as Christians, as branches on the vine that is Jesus, we can then understand that if we're connected to Jesus and we are speaking Jesus's words, they came from God. If we are following Jesus's works and doing what He did, we are following God. It's all growing from God. It all stems from Him. And John 15 says, "Remain in me as I also remain in you. No branch can bear fruit by itself. It must remain in the vine. Neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me." And that's essentially repeating John 14:10, but in the context of Jesus and us, instead of Jesus and God the Father. And it's very interesting to see that repetition and appreciate our role again in this, and also appreciate God's role, His ultimate role. He is the ultimate authority. He is the ultimate creator and life and all of these things. And really our job is to remain in Jesus, so that God's words and God's works and the fruit, all of this will come through us as well if we remain in Jesus, as Jesus remains in God the Father, God the gardener. So I'm going to read that verse again. John 14:10. "Don't you believe that I am in the Father, and that the Father is in me? The words I say to you, I do not speak on my own authority. Rather, it is the Father living in me who is doing His work." Thanks for listening.